D'Angelo Russell involved with, let's just call it an incident this week with the recording of a conversation of his teammate Nick Young talking about his adulterous lifestyle, bro code. Phil, where do you stand on the bro code in the NBA?
I mean, I think it's interesting. 'Cause I've been talking to a lot of almost non-basketball fans about this, and they kind of think that Nick Young's almost getting a pass because he's literally cheating on his girlfriend. But when we're talking about literally, you know, that's the stuff that builds camaraderie, right? I mean, a talk in a hotel room between two guys, 25 and under, you're not expecting that to go public. And I don't care what D'Angelo Russell says of how did this go public and all this. Um, it's one of those things you just don't do. I mean, how you think pressing record. I mean, look, we've all done dumb things in terms of trying to make people laugh, but you have to know that as a rookie, you kind of got to keep it quiet. I mean, maybe you do that year 2 or 3 on another level, but it really hurts. I think he bounces back just because if he was one of like a fringe draft pick, a late second rounder, I think this guy is just gone. I mean, the fact that they're talking about maybe moving Nick Young because they can't be together. I mean, it's kind of weird to blame Nick Young, but you have to keep the better player. Um, yeah, he definitely broke bro code, and it's going to take a long time for people to believe in him. But professionally, people don't want to lose either, right? So I think they're going to push past this faster than if it wasn't in sports.
Yeah, I think people forget that Nick Young is actually 30, not under 25. He acts that way, but Justin, if you were in these guys' shoes, what would you be? Will you be getting physical? What would you do?
That's tough to say. And it's funny to hear them say that they're trying to move Nick Young. They've tried trading him for 2 years. Nobody wants him. So that's not exactly a new thing with the situation. Would I get physical? I don't know about that. It's funny because the debate really, at least the debate that I've seen, has been whether D'Angelo Russell made the right decision or not. Would you make the same decision in that situation? I certainly wouldn't. I think going publicly is the wrong answer no matter what your stance is on whether or not it's your obligation to inform somebody. But I don't necessarily agree with the notion that Nick Young is getting a pass. He's just somebody that everyone's given up on. Everyone knows that he did something wrong. But the interesting debate is the Russell side of it. So I think that's why more conversation is steered that way, at least with the basketball community, or at least maybe that's what I hope the case is. I don't think it's worth anything getting physical over. When it comes to Russell's relationship with the team, he's the only one that you'd really point to as being, okay, this could be a foundational piece. Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson have shown some nice things, but Russell's the one you build around. So if you have to get rid of the rest of the team, I think you go ahead and you do that.
Phil, I mean, this is something that happens from time to time, even with the Lakers. Kobe Bryant, during his rape trial, had snitched on Shaq in his lifestyle away from the court. What do you think about this in terms of the NBA in general?
Well, I was having an interesting conversation with Justin about this kind of off camera, and this is the new age social media world where, were things like this not happening years past? Of course they were. I mean, it's just here he slipped up because he actually taped it, and people are hacking phones, forgetting to do this and that. Listen, I don't think this is anything new. I just think usually this gets handled internally, and now I think the Lakers are actually handling it internally faster than the outside media is, because they want to play this up as a bigger story than it is. I mean, look, he did the wrong thing, and they shunned him in a couple games, but there could be worse things for a young rookie to learn by, especially he's known to be a little immature and a bit of humility this way, but I don't think this is anything that's new to the NBA. I just think it's new to the average fan because of how social media has made it apparent.
And Justin, if you're Byron Scott, do you play a hand at all in this, or you just let these guys deal with it on their own?
If I'm Byron Scott, I change a lot of my life decisions, so it's hard to say. But if I was in charge of the Lakers, if I was running the team as a coach, I'd get involved. I think it's your responsibility. If nobody's stepping up from a leadership or mentor standpoint for you to fill that role, especially Byron Scott, who's had a lot of experience bringing up elite point guards in the past. Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving come to mind. But I think you intervene. I don't think you let players settle it themselves. We've seen players settle gambling debts and things like that poorly, so this isn't exactly foreign territory. You don't want this to become the next Washington Wizards where guys are bringing guns in the locker room. So I think you step in and you be kind of proactive in minimizing the damage of this situation.